share with you a video about our process of becoming narrowboat owners. Before we begin, I just want to add that this isn't a how to buy a narrowboat video. It's just really the story of how we bought our narrowboat. So after our first boating holiday, we were certain that we wanted to buy a narrowboat of our own so that we could explore the waterways and eventually live on board.
At the end of this holiday, we owned a touring caravan which we'd spent over 10 years exploring the length and breadth of the UK. We were very familiar with all aspects such as emptying cassette toilets, being frugal with water and using leisure batteries for power, etc. More importantly, we were used to spending a lot of time together as a family in a very small space. We'd also, a few years previously, looked at buying a cabin cruiser, so we'd done our research about local waterways and the places where we could moor a boat. This said though, we had almost zero knowledge about narrowboats themselves.
So we trawled the internet for as much information as we could, and in 2014 we took our caravan to spend the weekend at the Creek Boat Show. This must have been the muddiest weekend ever. Definitely. We had a fantastic time. We spoke to loads of experts and attended workshops and came armed with information about just about every aspect of owning a boat. And I thought we knew that there'd be no going back for us. So we started our hunt for a boat, and by taking a weekend trip to the Midlands where we visited the large brokers in the area. It was a bit of an eye-opener to say the least, and one in particular was named by our son the place where narrowboats go to die, such as the state of the boats that we looked at.
We should point out that at this stage in our search we were looking at the bottom end of the market. Our budget was about £20,000, so we were looking at boats priced up to the mid-20s. Other than price, our criteria is pretty much flexible. The minimum size we were looking for was about 40 foot, and at that price we knew we'd be looking for a project boat. Our weekend's viewing was disappointing to say the least. Anything half decent had been snapped up before we got the chance to even go look at it, and what was left was in a very sorry state. At this point we were becoming aware that the narrowboat market closer to home in Yorkshire wasn't quite as buoyant, excuse the pun, and that prices weren't quite as competitive, but there was a lot less available on the market. We decided to concentrate locally, the plus side being that we wouldn't have to transport a boat back if we found the right one.
Soon after we found what we thought was the one, a 40-foot cruiser stern built in 2000 and advertised through a local broker for £22,000. It was a little bit tired, but it had potential. For a family of three it was small, but as a holiday and weekend boat it was ideal and seemed huge compared to our touring caravan. We decided that we would probably use it for a few years to see how we liked boating, and then maybe upgrade it to a larger boat if we decided to become a liveaboard at a later date. We made an offer through the broker which, after a bit of toing and throwing, was accepted. We arranged for it to be lifted out of the water for a hull survey, and while waiting for this to take place we had a few questions that needed answering by the current owner. Unfortunately, it was at this stage, due to a variety of reasons, that it became apparent that the owner was very reluctant to sell the boat, and to cut a long story short, we had no option other than to walk away. Now at this point, to be honest, we were completely disheartened and narked off with the whole thing, so we decided to take a break from looking for a boat. By the end of 2015, we had made the decision to put on hold boat buying until 2018. The reason being that our son would be at university by then, and it would give us a chance to spend extended periods away boating. So fast forward now to the few months to about Easter 2016, and we'd just sold our caravan and 4x4, which had boosted our savings, and we were still talking about boats. They just wouldn't go away. One day we had decided to go for a walk along a previously unexplored section of local towpath. As we were walking along, we were discussing boats, as you do, and I jokingly put out a plea to whoever was up there, saying that we were more than ready to buy a boat, and if they could help us with finding the right one we would be eternally grateful.
So as we walked around the next bend in the towpath we approached a cluster of moored boats. As we came to the first one we saw a notice in the window. Yep, you've guessed it, it was for sale. The sign said that it was 57 foot and built in 2003. From what we could see, it looked in good state of repair. The price advertised was a little over budget by £5,000, but we decided to call the owner to arrange to have a look round. A few days later we viewed the boat. The owners had it built as a sail away shell, and it had been fitted out by themselves. Whilst it wasn't completely finished, it did offer us an opportunity to have a boat that was immediately usable, but we could also finish to our own requirements. We knew that we wanted the boat, but there was the problem of it being over the maximum budget. What we did to make it more affordable was that it had a full survey completed a few months earlier by the owner. The survey had picked up on a couple of minor things which the owner had put right and showed us receipts for the work from a local boat yard. So without the cost of lifting the boat out for water and having a survey completed, we were in a position to negotiate a deal which we were happy with, and exactly 2 weeks after the first spying the boat, suddenly we were its owners. I don't think so. We knew that we were taking a risk with not having our own survey completed, but with all the information provided by the owners, we were comfortable with the decision that we'd made.
We have ended up doing considerably more work than we first intended, and in an upcoming video we'll show you what we've done so far and what we're planning to do next. Thanks for watching. We hope that you have enjoyed this video. If so, please let us know by giving us a thumbs up, and be sure to subscribe to our channel, as we have loads of ideas for upcoming videos and we'd love to share them with you. Bye!
Bye!